When people on the first plane of existence think of the afterlife, they think of words like grand, ethereal, eternal, immense. Well, we here in the afterlife think of words like work, quota, uniform, and ice cream cake. You might conjure up grand thoughts about God or the devil. We talk briefly, if at all, about Penny and Jerry. You think pearly gates and trumpets, fire, brimstone, and horns. We've got soul-shaping committees and a revolving door at the reincarnation station. This is an education of sorts, because say what you will, toss around whatever text you find palatable, but all of you know absolutely nothing about the afterlife. And I mean zero, the big goose egg. But fear not, these are accounts from that world. These are stories set in the great hereafter. These are conversations from the afterlife. Well, hello. When last we spoke, I provided you with details about today's program, the continuing construction of the lovely and amazing Isabel Markovsky. And without muss, without fuss, that is what comes next.
Sorry I'm late. I had a meeting with my guide.
Anything exciting?
Not overly so. I'm still completing the terms of my second life cycle. He's still morosely nostalgic about his first life as a Renaissance painter some 500 years and 7 lives ago. Honestly, without a trace of whimsy, he always offers the same declaration. Arthur, my boy, the Renaissance was, in a word, glorious. He did gift me a full minute of Jasper memories. My cat, growing up, Jasper. Very pleasant memories. So, what do we have here?
A new soul.
Looks jovial.
Do you think?
I try not to.
I get a sort of inquisitive sense from this one.
Can't it be both?
Let's see what the family has to say about it.
There's moonshine on the hill, and there's moonshine in the dell.
Its great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was a duchess in Scotland. McInnes was the name.
And?
Just fancy is all.
Can we not call it it?
Well, sure. What do you want to call it?
Belle.
You think it'll be female?
I do.
From what I'm reading, the family line on both sides is due for a female.
So let's say we have a female soul.
Unless there's a physical change from our submitted report to actual birth.
Which is not our problem. That's never our problem. So I'm not going to worry about it.
Who's Belle?
Her grandmother's name was Isabella, and Isabella just passed on to a second life. They'll never meet, so in tribute...
Well, they could meet someday. I just met my great-great-grandfather. French. A very odd man named Guy.
So let's say we have a female soul.
We'll call it Belle from now on. Belle's family line on both sides is due for a female. She has royal blood, to a very diluted extent, and she will be born in the age of technological advancement so profound her life will be governed by it.
What was that last part?
Just my theory.
Like a George Orwell dystopian kind of thing.
Does it have to be that bleak?
Probably.
As well I might have supposed, and I am left in this abandon, so far removed from all that I...
There's a clear history of alcoholism in the family line, especially on the father's side. Do we make note of that?
If it exists on both sides, we have to at least make a note somewhere in the report. We can ask that they make it a compulsive behavior, but we'd have to insist on it.
Let's do that. I never like requesting alcoholism in these reports.
What about sense of humor?
What about it?
I think Bella's funny.
Well, why is that?
Well, for starters, she has a great aunt that was a circus performer and a vaudevillian.
Very nice.
Big Mouth Betty.
A sword swallower?
So, in honor of old Betty here, let's make Belle funny and tenacious.
I get the tenacity in tribute to Betty, but is a sword swallower necessarily funny?
I just want Belle to be funny.
Great. Put it in the report.
So, we have a compulsive, tenacious, funny female given to waves of inquisitive behavior while maintaining an air of joviality about life.
She's sounding better and better.
We still have to deal with passions, attractions, and willingness to be bold in the face of love.
I would say that the willingness to be bold is addressed somewhat in the tenacity inclusion.
So, she is willing to be bold in the face of love.
And play the violin.
Why the violin?
Because everyone should play the violin.
Well, is there any musical history in her family that you've seen?
The man who will be her uncle on her father's side plays a mean banjo.
Yes, but that's not a blood relative.
Fine, no violin.
Well, we can put it in the report, they just might not accept it.
Put my initials next to the suggestion. If they want to follow up, I'll deal with it. I just have a sense that Belle and the violin will make a fine pair.
But I'm his body and soul.
Look. There was a great-grandfather that played the... What does that say?
Suka? What language is that?
Well, her great-grandfather was Polish.
Don't you hear me pleading? You got to see that thing.
It's a fiddle. Huh! Basically, a Polish violin. I knew it! How's that for instinct?
And attractions.
Strength?
I was thinking the opposite.
Weakness?
No, more like timidity. But in a respectful way. Belle is attracted to respectfully timid people.
I disagree. Well, it doesn't have to be strength, but respectful timidity? That doesn't sound like anything to be characteristically attracted to. I say strength because a lot of the women in her family were married to policemen, firemen. There's a governor in here.
Sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean they were strong people. Your occupation certainly doesn't decide your character. Look here. One of the policemen was a coward so much so that they stamped the word over his face in the file.
So, what are we going with?
Well, whatever we go with, it's just a suggestion based on our research. Belle will develop her own attractions based on her own experiences.
So then why put anything?
Well, we can't leave it blank. They always ask why it's blank.
So let's say that Belle is attracted to strength and, what was it, persistently timid?
Respectfully timid.
What does that mean?
It means someone who is gentle.
I think that reads better. Perhaps Belle's ideal partner is a strong yet gentle soul.
Perhaps.
I would note both and let them sort it out.
Passions?
Aside from the violin,
Music in general.
the universe always needs more music and music enthusiasts.
Okay, so we have a compulsive, funny, tenacious female given to waves of inquisitive behavior while also maintaining an air of joviality about life. She may or may not play the violin. She may or may not be passionate about the violin. She is passionate about music in general, is attracted to both the gentle and the strong, and is completely capable of being bold in the name of love.
Great. I'd love to meet her.
And her favorite color will be teal.
Teal? Why teal? Right. will you be able to drop this off?
Fine, where are you going?
I have a meeting with a member of the Positivity Guild. I put in a request for someone to work with my grandson on crafting a better frame of mind for him.
Your grandson's a first lifer.
Yeah, the kid is miserable. I honestly just want to see if anyone from the guild can make him even slightly more positive.
What do they do again? Are they the ones with the white coats?
No, that's the Sanity Brigade? Or some such nonsense. The Positivity Guild basically follow first lifers around for a while and say positive things to them. While not literally heard, the optimism is apparently absorbed by the soul of the first lifer, thus improving their perception.
Does it cost a lot?
Well, if I commit to the service, I'll be in my second cycle for quite some time. Ideally, shaping souls with the likes of you.
Well, up next, a male soul named Albert.
How do you know that soul's name?
Albert was my grandson's name. Good luck at your meeting.
Thanks. I'll see you soon.
Once this soul-shaping report is submitted and the General Assembly of Isabel's Life Support Committee is established, all that remains for her soul is to be inserted into her body the moment she is born. In this regard, the universe is just as expectant as the first life parents. This could happen today, tomorrow, next week. It's all up to little Isabel and when she chooses to come into the world. Because I know what happens and how this all turns out, I can say with total certainty that we have some time. For purposes of our story, that time will be spent with Mr. Gibb. In our next installment, he will finally sit down with Jerry and discuss his potential future. And without knowing it himself, he will move one step closer to his only hope, Miss Isabel Markovsky. We do hope you will join us for more conversations from the afterlife. Good day.
Little big man, combustible, plant his feet in the sand, the world in his hands. Everybody's watchful eye. Packing up smoke, he'll tell you a joke about how he's broke and selling his coat so that he can eat, not die. College is gone and so is his mom, and so is his lawn, and so is his prom. It's a universal truth that'll grow cold while he grows old, dying for gold, afraid to be bold. Universe will cut you loose.